In last video we discussed Michael and the issues he faced on Sony Records with Illuminati member Tommy Mottola. Michael fought the power with powerful songs the record company never wanted to see the light of day. I won't go into much details on the first part. If you haven't seen it, then I will post a link in the description box below. There are things I left out of the first part that will be discussed in this one, so I hope you guys are ready. Now, after the release of Dangerous, History, and Blood on the Dance Floor, going through all of this stuff with his record label and the Illuminati, Michael had a companion by his side, and that companion was Lisa Marie Presley. Now, Lisa Marie Presley is the daughter of Elvis Presley, who was a rock legend, who also was rumored to have faked his death. In 1992, Michael reconnects with Lisa Marie Presley, who he ends up marrying by 1994. Now, by 96, they had been divorced, but in 1994, they conducted an interview with Diane Sawyer, where Diane Sawyer decides to grill Lisa Marie Presley about her ex-husband and his ties to Scientology and if she's involved with it. Now, Scientology also has ties to the Illuminati.
Right now?
So, I know that you, Lisa Marie, have wanted to talk about this. There are a lot of doubters about this marriage. I've heard that it's a Scientology plan. You are a member of the Church of Scientology, which is said to influence its members greatly, and that the husband you divorced was Scientologist, and he's still very much in your life, and this is all part of a calculation to get Michael and his money into the church.
Yeah, it's crap. I'm sorry. It's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm not, first of all, you can't get influenced by anything like that. And under a term of a marriage, I'm not going to marry somebody for any reason other than the fact that I fall in love with them. Period. Period.
Growing up in the 90s and first seeing this interview live on TV with Diane Sawyer, Michael Jackson, and Lisa Marie Presley, I felt Lisa Marie Presley was asked the right questions by Diane Sawyer. Now, Diane Sawyer had asked her if she was in it for the love of Michael, or whether she was in it for dragging him into the Church of Scientology. Now, we all know that Michael was starting to have issues with the Illuminati through Sony Records when he first recorded Black or White for the Dangerous album. During Michael and Lisa's marriage, the Illuminati made their biggest move against Michael when they reached out to one of their members, Evan Chandler. At this time, Evan Chandler was asked to speak publicly against Michael by using his son as a pawn in the process by stating Michael Jackson had touched him. This is what the Illuminati was going for. They was actually on a witch hunt against Michael, which forced other people into the process of trying to hurt him. In 2009, after carrying that lie all of those years, Evan Chandler eventually killed himself in an apparent suicide after his son had spoken out stating that the accusations that were made against Michael Jackson back in 1993 were totally false and were totally a lie. Now, pushing ahead back to Michael's music. On the Dangerous album, Michael had issues with Sony, as I stated in the previous video, with getting the album out due to certain songs like Black or White. Then the next album, which was History, Past, Present, and Future, Michael released They Don't Really Care About Us, Money, and also Stranger in Moscow, which is songs that made the record company and the Illuminati actually worry and struggle towards stopping the promotion of his album. With the History, Past, Present, and Future album and the Blood on the Dance Floor albums both being financial flops, Michael had slowly taken a break from releasing full albums, and he began releasing best of albums. Now, during this time, he's already had his children, and this gave him more time to spend with his kids, as well as start working towards his follow-up and final album. October 30th, 2001, Michael releases Invincible, which will be known to the world as his final studio album. Now, this album spawned so many hits like You Rock My World, Speechless, Butterflies, 1000 Watts, Privacy, Whatever Happens with Carlos Santana, all songs that we all love. On this album, You Rock My World and Butterflies were major hits for Michael. However, the Invincible album did not sell. Now, this was just like the previous two albums, which was History and Blood on the Dance Floor. Now, with the Invincible album being another flop for Michael, Michael starts planning ahead on how to expose what's going on behind the scenes between him, Sony Records, and the Illuminati. Now, Michael, however, wanted everyone to know what was going on. So, in 2002, Michael had headed to London to let people know what was going on by conducting a speech in front of a large audience.
Yeah! The companies take advantage of them. They really do. And Sony, you know, being the artist that I am, at Sony, I've generated several $1 billion for Sony. Several billion. And they really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing, and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them. We can't let them get away with what they're trying to do, because now I'm a free agent. I just owe Sony one more album. It's just a box set, really. It's with 2 new songs, which I've written ages ago. So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony. I own half of Sony's publishing, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it. But I just did good business, you know. So the way they get revenge is to try and destroy my album. And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
Now, this is the very moment where Michael had declared war on Tommy Mottola, Sony, and the Illuminati.
I'm not supposed to say what I'm gonna say right now, but I have to let you in on a secret.
Say it.
So, please don't videotape what I'm going to say, okay? Turn that off, please. Know what? I don't mind. Tape it. We have to continue our drive until he's terminated.
Oh, there you go.
With Michael going to London and making that speech and revealing all that he revealed, he didn't stop his fight there. He continued to fight by contacting Reverend Al Sharpton, who is an activist and has been fighting the powers that be since the late 60s. Now, as I don't want to make any of my videos too long, I'll be continuing the rest of this story in part 3, which will be the conclusion. I'll be discussing Reverend Al Sharpton and how he helped Michael in his attempt to fight the Illuminati and Sony, as well as the 2005 molestation trial set up against him, and this is it. No disrespect was intended in the making of this video to any of the parties, living or deceased. Much love to my MJ Hoax believers and subscribers. Always believe and continue to like, subscribe, and comment on these videos, and I'll see you next time.